Good morning, everybody. Just decided to do a live stream, just service some watches live. It's got a ladies Rolex to strip down and place in a cleaning machine. Well, it's a mid-size Rolex. And also I have another Rolex to strip down as well, which is a 2030 movement. It's more of the older Rolexes. I believe this is a 2030. Have a look and see. Yes, 2030. Wow. Old movements. Looks like in fair condition, to be honest. Not bad at all. Place these watches on the bench. Got a new bench mat, which is black. So now I'll be opening up the case to work on the movement. Let's have a look at the sleeve. So bring the camera forward. So we have the 2235 ladies. Yes, Chris, the Omega is done, and I'm still working on the Tudor. Feel free to email me. So we're still within the time frames that I quoted you. So feel free to email me and I'll reply to you. Just going back to this movement, this is a 2235 movement. It's a fantastic ladies movement. 2135 is great as well. 2030, which is placed in this movement here, is a more difficult watch, in my opinion, just from my opinion. Can't speak for everybody else, but just from my experience. Lovely dial. So now we're going to go through the process of stripping that down. Take the rotor axle off, sorry, the rotor off first. I most probably will change that rotor axle as it looks quite worn. It is dirty, but I will be changing it. Just moving these seals. I've just done an IWC, which I'll just lightly polish and fitted a sapphire glass to it. Fortunately, there's many restrictions on IWC watches. Just taking the auto work off first. Got the reversal wheels and then the wheel in the center. Strip that down as well. So basically, Matt, on this particular model, it's like a post, a metal post, and it tends to wear even though it is spinning in a sapphire jewel, and you'll see marks, like scored marks on the steel, and also the actual rotor starts to, like, instead of spinning, it starts to move up and down, starts to jiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Which then means that the rotor can't spin properly and it's loss of power. So moving the rotor will just turn. But if the rotor axle isn't in good condition, then it will start to move up and down instead of spinning, and there'll be play, and then it'll start to touch the plates underneath. So the movement plates underneath, and you'll get like marks on the plates. Separating the reversal wheels. Now there's a lot of play in this balance, so when I strip down the watch, I'm going to see why. But on the 22s, the end shake on the balance should be mega tight. Not too tight, but it should be tight enough. taking out the screws and the clamps that hold the movement to the case. Take out the stem. See this lovely dial, very, very nice. Hey Marcelo, how's it going? How are you? It's quite frustrating with this camera because I've got a very bright light and it stops you from seeing what I'm working on. So I'm very sorry about that. I definitely need to sort out a better camera. So this is a 2230, not a 31, sorry. My apologies. No date. What a lovely dial. Very basic, but very nice. Oh. Use a bit of silicone sheet to take the hands off. Hands are off. Going to place the hands in a separate container. Taking the dial off. Placing the dial and hands safely away. Very Easily marked. Just looking to see if there's any issues. Movement is very clean. Put the power down. Checking the end shape. Curious. Plenty there. Usually I work on the dial side. Just checking a few things. Very nice. Get the barrel. Separate the mainspring from the barrel. pull the mainspring out. There we go. Pretty long mainspring on these 22s. Put that to one side. A lot of end shake in that balance. Balance pivot is actually snapped, so which really should have been checked earlier. So now I'm going to have to ring up the client and just inform him. In the meantime, I'm going to place a balance complete that I've already have in stock, I believe. So place this balance to one side. My used balance I have that I've made earlier. Here it is. So I haven't taken out the pallets just yet. I just want to check the end shake of this balance. Before I do that, let me take the jewel out. Hello Stereo, how are you? Thank you for watching. So we're just working on a 22 ladies.
Right, so let me check the end sheet now.
Stereo. So yeah, that's a good question. It's a very good question. Some watchmakers leave the shock setting jewels in. It's always important to place the balance back on the movement plate. But the question is, do you put the shock settings in or not? So by putting the shock settings in, I think it's fair to say that the pivots don't get cleaned as well as. However, they are being protected. I tend to place the shock settings in with the balance. Especially on the older stuff as well. I mean, it depends on the speed of your cleaning machine as well. So what speed you choose, because the last thing you want is to place a watch in and both balance pivots are snapped or one pivot snapped. Well, some people say, well, it was weak anyway, but no, I mean, I then really place the balance complete in a Renata Essence sort of liquid even after the full cleaning of the cleaning machine. My cleaning machine is a 4 jar Elma. It is the Elma Solvex RM. It's the non-ultrasonic one, because the ultrasonic, the reason why I didn't get the ultrasonic one is because it's rather expensive. I got the one just below that one, which is fully automatic. I think my one cost me like 4,000 or 5,000. I think the ultrasonic one is like 10, 12, something crazy. But I hope that answers your question. Good morning, Dodger. How's Dodger today? How's Mrs. Dodger? So now we're just placing the small parts into one of these baskets. Just going to strip this one watch for now. I'll leave the other ladies for now. And while it's in the cleaning machine, I'm going to show you an IWC that I've just fitted a glass to and gave the case a very light tidy up. The customers had a bit of a nightmare with this IWC because parts are restricted. Sometimes I'm going to leave the camera on when I'm not even working, or if I'm just taking a call or have a client in. I'd like to put music on, but I don't know if I'm allowed to because of the live stream. Ah, that's great news. There is the basket. Yes, I've seen it. It's lovely. It's a beautiful dial, I think. So IWC, here is the case. It's got a very light refinish and also matte of the case back as well. So now I'm just going to steam clean it. Give it a bit of a steam clean. Wow, 5,100. Actually, yeah, I know about that because I tried on the new Green Dial Seamaster. They had one that a client put a deposit down, but they let me try it on, and it's a stunning watch. So yeah, they told me there's a price increase, and that was last week. Just gonna put this in the steamer. Just place the case on the steamer. It's come up really well. Now it's on the heater, making sure that there's no sort of water. Making sure it's super hot before we case it up. Yes, stereo. So if you want to try it, just make sure that the shot setting jewels are in place. 2801, the advanced manual in the jar, always get that. Now you can put the balance in and make sure that it is actually placed as it would be when it's in the movement, and make sure that the screw, so the balance cock and the screw, and if there's any screws on the balance cock are tight, that's really important. And it's about the speed as well. Make sure that your speed on your cleaning machine isn't too fast, isn't too quick. You might have it on a constant spin or where it shakes. So it's probably best that you don't have it on the shake, just have it on a slow spin. There's no harm in, once it comes out of the cleaning machine, to put it in some Renata essence and then hang the balance in something like this. So the balance cock goes up here. The balance hangs down. That means that the coils are not touching, so they can actually dry and they're not going to stick. So that's what happens if a hairspring is not cleaned properly, it starts to stick. That's why you've got to make sure that your fluids are nice and clean as well.
Place the seals back in place. See properly. Hello. Stereo, are you asking me by the solution color in terms of when you should change your fluids? Is that the question? Sorry, I just realized now. Yes, so if you already know what the solutions look like prior to putting them in, if you remember, they usually, well, they will get darker. So it depends also how long, when's the last time you changed them and how many watches you've had in and how you sticking pocket watches in. Pocket watches tend to be a lot worse than wristwatches. The pocket watches are the worst because there's a lot of oil and grease, and it's a bigger unit as well. So tend to have more oil and greases involved, and duration of the service on the pocket watch most probably will be a lot longer than a wristwatch. Ah, Assad, how are you? Yes, it is the Portuguese. That's right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it is Portuguese. Just putting the bezel on. The 7750 movement has been highly decorated and modified by them. When I say modified, it's been, everything's been polished and spotted. And thank you for watching. Beautiful 7750 movement. So basically, IWC modified the movement, not in terms of complications, but in the look, in terms of changing it from the rhodium look to the gold look. Also giving it a bit of Geneva spotting, polishing the pivots, also chamfering certain parts as well, bluing the screws. They actually have made it look really nice. I mean, I know you're probably going to say, well, it's still a 7750, but it's about how they make it look that makes the difference. $7750 is a great movement, apart from the whole where it winds one way and then it recoils back and it makes that real funny noise. A lot of people don't like that. It doesn't really bother me. Placing on the time machine. Watch hasn't been serviced by me. It's just coming for a new sapphire glass. Just want to see what it's doing. If I can help with adjusting it slightly, and that's bang on. Wine is slightly harder than usual, but then it does have two seals on the crown. The lift angle on this is 49. I just need to double check. $49 degrees. Let's have a look. So I think it's fair to say this watch does need service. However, customer just wants a glass. Hey Bill, how are you? Would you like to come on? Here is the link. Yeah, the Queen has passed away. Now we're going to have King Charles. Sad times. That's with the chronograph off as well. So once the chronograph is engaged, the amplitude will fall even more. So this watch will probably last for another, what, 12 months without needing a service. So I think it will be okay for another 12 months, I would say. Hey Bill, how are you?
Good, Alex. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I guess you heard about the Queen?
Oh, everyone has. The world has.
Yep.
And that's the code they used when they told, I think, the Prime Minister.
What, London Bridge has fallen?
Yes.
Oh, wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that?
And the code they used for Charles is something. This is wrong, but it's similar to it. Something. Spring has risen, or something like that. There is a code for Charles getting the nod or becoming king.
Wow, I did not know that. Do you think Diana had a code when she passed away?
Yep, they all do.
Wow.
They all do. As do, I think they had codes for even the Americans have got codes for their presidents.
I'll just sort this camera out. Oh. Yeah, so Charles is going to be king now, isn't he?
Yeah, Charles III. And William becomes Prince of Wales. The money.
What's Harry going to do, Bill? He's just going to be with Meghan.
Yep, that's it. Him and Meghan. He's going to be floating around, and people are going to call him. Unfortunately, he had it all and gave it away. So
Harry no longer in the. His benefits have been lost for Harry's. Haralambos.
Yes. Unfortunately. I wonder because they were talking about his book coming out. He was going to slag off the royal family, but now what's he going to do now?
What a low! What a new low! The poor Queen has passed away, and this guy's going to bring out a book.
That's right. But they've already criticised Meghan for her me podcasts.
I mean,
I think tried to. Well, there's two. They discussed that. I heard a discussion on the radio about the diva thing. There's a diva and there's diva. There's obviously the singers that can sing well, and then there's the diva that thinks her shit don't stink and bosses people around.
Like what Archie said about me.
Did he?
Alex's shit don't stink.
And the coins are going to have his head on them.
I guess so, yeah.
The what have you got? Is the £5 note? You don't have anything lower than that. Have you got coins that are lower than that, or notes that are lower than a £5 note?
No, £5 note is the lowest in paper.
Okay, so that's so her head's going to be on there. I don't know. Do all your nomination or the notes have her head on them, or is it just the 5? I don't know. Ours have got our $5 note has got the Queen's head, but the others have other people on it. But I don't know about the British. The sterling is.
I don't know actually, Neil. I need to, now that you've asked me, I need to look. I mean, considering I see the notes so often, I'm gonna have to have a look now. Oh, put the case back on upside down, Bill. What an idiot.
So I shouldn't have jumped on the stream.
No, it's my fault, not yours.
No, my fault is in distraction.
No, I distracted myself. Can't blame somebody else, it's me. I just need to flip it over.
Have a look. While you're doing that, I'll have a. Before the internet, we'd have to buy books to read up on. Now we can just type it into a computer.
While I've got this movement open, have you seen this 7750 that's been decorated by IWC? It's even got a micro adjuster on the balance. I don't know.
It's not fading. So that's an IWC.
Yeah, with the 7750, but it's been heavily modified. It's even got the micro adjuster, like a screw for the balance instead of like a little lever.
Okay.
It's really nice. Stunning. It's stunning.
It does look good. Just before I switched, I saw you were on. I watched. You know Bill Sanders?
Oh yeah, how is he?
Well, I guess he's well. He's doing his video clips, and he showed 3. He's got a little. He puts out little clips, 3 watches in 5 minutes. So it's only a little short thing that I watched, and it had what do they call them? They call them what would Cartier or Chanel be called as a brand?
Fashion.
Well, yeah, pretty much a fashion watches, right? And there was forget who the first one was. Anyway, there was one fashion brand that had a JJ LeCoultre movement in it.
Oh, it was the Louis Vuitton. It's just come out. They only made so many pieces of it, and that Bradley Cooper is the ambassador for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was the Chanel.
Was it the Louis Vuitton?
I think the Chanel movement had a movement made by a group of watchmakers that got together early on in their careers. I think it was F.P. Journe. a few other, what's the other guy's name? What their names now? And they made movements for companies. And anyway, one of these movements is in one of these watches. And then Cartier has got a special movement by another high horology company. And he was just talking about that occasionally these watch brands, even though they're high fashion brands, they actually have really good movements in them, but people don't know about them. And they come out for a limited period of time, and then off they go. And they swap them out for other things.
Yeah, it's clever. Yeah, I mean Chanel. I mean the movement in the new Chanels is phenomenal. You know, it's not like it used to be. I mean, I opened up a Chanel, which is on my bench here, thinking it's a 2892, and it's got a Soprod, which is based on a Seiko movement. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that. And can I get a part for it? No. I'm waiting for a part for it.
There's Jay Gracewetter, Mr. GMT. Hello, how are you?
Hey guys, you okay?
Jay Gracewetter, he's good. Mr. GMT, I hope you're well as well. Trying, well, I don't think Mr. GMT is trying to be sexy. He's the epitome of sexy. Okay, I found it, Alex.
Okay.
I found it. This is in the Cartier watch. It's a Cartier monopusher. And the movement was made by F.P. Jean, Vianney Halter, and Dennis Flagelot. He's the founder of de Bethune watches.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's the movement. They had a company called THA Ubush, and they were making movements. So if you've got to watch with one of these guys, you know, their movements, it's not a crappy movement, I tell you.
No, they're going. And these fashion brands are clever because they're marketing, you know, the amount of money that they have behind them. They can just get somebody to make a movement for them.
Yeah. Now these guys, well, they were young watchmakers at the time, so they formed the company, and then they broke away and made it, you know, started making their own watches, you know, and built their reputation. But early on, when they were unknowns, relatively unknowns, they were making these good quality, you know, obviously that Cartier would buy their movements because these guys were up and comers, so they wanted to sell product. They didn't have a reputation to command huge prices. But if you're one of the lucky few that bought one of these watches and you've got this movement in it, there's a lot of people that probably have these watches that don't even know what movement's inside it.
Exactly.
Now, I just went through the chat. You've got some good questions from my amateur stereo. Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Dodger, Mrs. Dodger were here as well. Oh, they sold it. Did they sell their house?
They sold it, yeah.
Oh, they're flush with money. They'll have gambling money when they go to the States. Yeah. They're going to that gambling capital of America, Las Vegas. Does Cartier, do they do the same thing? If you want to go and buy a Cartier watch, do they make you sign up and get in a line, or do you just rock up and buy one?
It depends which Cartier. Depends which one. They do have a waiting list on some of their models. The skeletonized Cartier, I think they do. They've got like a skeletonized Cartier. It's quite nice. But I think there's a waiting list on it. Well, it does go up. It does. It is worth more on the pre-owned market.
Can you imagine going into one of those boutiques and saying, "Okay, I'd like a watch, but you've got to tell me more about the movement," to the salespeople? Can you open the case back so I can see what kind of movement you've got, what crappy movement or good movement you've got in there?
Don't think they'll like that.
Oh, not only wouldn't they like it, I doubt very much they would know what you're talking about.
Only the Rolex staff, because they have to know. It's the other brands that they're not that informed, I don't think. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but there's a little hair just on the glass that's annoying me. I'm not happy with the hair. I need to get it out.
Nice a night wrist watchman is here.
Hey, Barnsley. How is he?
I think he's okay. Do you think night wrist watchman has got watches with loom on them?
He's got a nice collection.
Would they be battery powered? You know those watches that's got a little light inside, you press a button and it lights up? He's all good. Good to see you. Isn't he
He's on tickers, it shows.
yes, I was gonna say I see him on tickets, yeah.
He's the man behind the scenes.
Okay. Is he the one that gets the guests in? Because they've
He
had
is, yeah.
some high quality guests in. Well
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Well done.
he
Yeah, he said he only uses them at night. It's like that song, I Wear My Sunglasses at Night.
I wear my sunglasses. That was an 80s one, wasn't it? 80s classic.
Yeah. But he was that artist was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, who sang it? It was a young guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, how old were you then, Bill?
Oh, who knows? I don't even know when the song came out.
It's 80s, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't know when it came. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up to see when the bloody thing came out.
I wear my sunglasses.
Well, the night wristwatchman only wears his watches at night. It was in the Jay Gray sweater. It was in the 80s.
I was born in 83.
Corey Hart was the artist.
That's it. Corey Hart.
Couldn't. I wouldn't have. I never heard of him again. He's still milking that one song. Yeah, I can imagine so. It's like UB40. You know UB40?
Yeah, did some good songs there.
Oh, I don't know. All I hear is Red, Red Wine. It's the only song that they play ad nauseum. I don't know any other Red, Red 40 song. Only one song that I know. That's the one, Jay. Red, Red Wine. They've been milking that one for years too. I remember they used to come out to Australia every 2-3 years.
Great band.
UB40's coming out. You know, you'd hear them on the radio. UB40's coming out, and then they'd play a little bit of Red, Red Wine. I'm thinking, my God, is that all they've got? But they were they were glorified with. They were just a cover band mostly, weren't they?
What about UB40? Sorry, Simply Red.
Yeah,
Mick Hucknall.
yeah. I don't know. I think fame got to his head, that one.
Oh yeah, he got to him big time.
So I remember he was interviewed about 10 years ago, and he sort of mentioned that he sort of disappeared off the scene after he got too big for his shoes. He didn't know what to do.
A bit like Steven Seagal in acting.
Oh, there was a group of them, that acting mob. Yeah, him. Who's the other one? Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was another one. The same thing. Is there another one? Dolph Lundgren was another one.
What about the guy from Miami Vice? He was really hooked on cocaine.
Don Johnson. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, he was saying once he went to score some drugs and he took his wife with him. He ended up in a shootout with his wife.
With his wife.
Yeah, he went to go and get some drugs, and he was with his wife, and they ended up being in a shootout, in the middle of a shootout. And then she left him.
So he thought. So he was so high, he thought he was still on the film set.
Can you imagine the divorce papers? Reason for divorce. Life and death situation.
That's right. What are they doing? Irreconcilable differences. Does that have a seal after you screw it down?
It does. It has a real small seal. These are not classed as water resistant as far as from my research. They're not really water resistant.
But do they have a seal? They'd have a seal for sweat and stuff like that too. And don't forget about the water. But is there a seal?
Sweat, yeah.
Is there a seal at the back, a rubber seal?
Yeah, it's a very, very thin seal. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep, I can see it. Yep.
But it doesn't really do anything because it's just really, really thin, and plus,
Screws
thin. There's no screw down or nothing.
Yeah.
It's not part in the water tester, but I wouldn't expect it to because it's just so flimsy.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, so Ian's in Cyprus.
In Gibro, yeah, he's in the Thalassa.
There he is. He said hi.
Yeah, so yeah.
Crockett didn't have his back, Jay's Bracewater said. That's why he got into that shootout.
Yeah, I remember the stuff he used to wear. What was he called? Guy from Miami Vice. The clothes he used to wear with no shirt.
Yeah, and people copied him. He wore shoes without socks.
That's it. He had like a safari suit, didn't he?
I can't remember.
Because my dad used to wear those.
Well, anyway, the £5 note has got the Queen on it. So does the 10, so does the 50, and so does the 20. And they're all polymer notes. So they're Australian made, Alex.
Really?
Yeah, these polymer notes were made in Australia. Australia was the first to make plastic or these polymer notes. Then they sold the technology around the world to different countries.
They stick though. That's the problem.
Oh, when they're fresh, when they're new, they do. And they get a bit of dirt on them. Don't worry, they come apart easily. But you can bury it in your backyard knowing full well it won't decompose.
That's true.
So the 20. So you haven't. See, all of our notes have become polymer or plastic, whereas your £20 note hasn't gone polymer yet. It's still paper. So Charlie's going to get sick of looking at himself. Oh, he doesn't handle money anyway.
No, not me.
He won't be able to sing happy birthday to himself anymore. You won't be able to sing the national anthem.
I wonder what made him go from Diana to Camilla.
I was just reading the chat. Sorry. Ian Nicholson, beautiful Cyprus and 30 degrees, brilliant sunshine. Don Johnson, Miami Vice, was the one without shoes, without socks and shoes. And keep an eye out for Alex Christoforou. You know him?
Cristoforo. I don't know. Is he a footballer or what is
I
he?
don't know. Well, Jay Graceweather said keep an eye out for Alex Christoforou. So to Ian Nicholson. So sorry, it wasn't to you, it was to him. You wouldn't want to drop that tray, would you?
Don't get me started. No.
Okay. And the other watch, the Chanel watch, has got a Romain Gauthier movement in it. And Romain Gauthier was the watchmaker for Philippe Dufour. Okay, Christoforou is a geopolitical analyst. He is currently in Nicosia. He walks around with the camera and breaks down the news of the day. Looks a lot like our man Alex.
Cristoforo.
When is Boris back?
He's backbench, isn't he?
No, is he back in England?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
Because he was in Greece and they had him, buy him kebabs, souvlaki. They had him at the grocery store. There was pictures of him here in Australia. He was tourist in Greece. He was having shots of ouzo with the locals.
There was a lady that was having an affair with Boris Johnson, and they asked her, what was it like? And do you know what she said?
I wouldn't have a clue.
She said, when he was on top of me, it was like a cupboard that fell on me with the small key still in it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
No. It's funny though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can just picture her. This is the image that's ingrained in her mind, and it happened the moment they were doing it.
Oh, funny.
He's a popular man in Ukraine. Von Krul. Is Von Krul from Ukraine? I thought wasn't he in Germany? Von Krul? Von Krul, are you in Germany or are you in Ukraine? Oh, Canadian. Okay, sorry, it's hard to remember.
Sorry, Bill, did you say something?
No, that's all right. Von Krul is. Von Krul, how am I pronouncing your name correctly? And can you explain it? I was going to ask one day. I was going to ask Jay Graysweater the same thing. Where did you come up with that name, Jay Graysweater?
We've got postal strikes here.
Okay, fair enough. That's interesting. Jay Graysweater's explained how he got his name, which reminded me of a joke, Alex.
Just wearing a grey sweater, that's all. Go on.
As an American Indian, little kid goes up to his dad. He said, "Dad, where did I get my name from?" And the dad started to explain to him. See over there, when Running Bear was born, we saw a bear running, so we called him Running Bear. And Yellow Eagle, he got his name when he was born. We saw a yellow eagle in the sky, so that's how he got his name. He goes, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And his dad goes, "So you understand, two dogs fucking, how you got your name?"
What was his name?
What was the kid's name?
Yeah.
Two dogs fucking.
Okay. Oh man. Have you got any more jokes? Because I like your jokes.
Well, it reminded me of that joke when Jay Graysweater said that his name starts with J and he was wearing a grey sweater when he made the his account, which reminded me of that joke. There was here in Australia, in South Australia, there was two mates, and one of them had a farm that produced lemons, right?
Yeah.
and they decided they were going to brew the lemons because they had excess lemons. They didn't know, they didn't want to throw them out. So one of them said, "Why don't we brew them and make a beer out of it?" And it was quite popular. And the name of the brand name of the beer was Two Dogs.
Well, there's one here called Brewdog.
No. Oh, well, they called it Two Dogs because from that joke.
Ah, right, okay.
They ended up selling it to a Japanese company because the Japanese loved it. They had big export license to Japan. So this Japanese company that bought it, it sort of died off the Australian scene. It wasn't heavily promoted. So they.
Well, it's like Red Bull in Europe. Then another company called Shark came along and tried to take Red Bull on.
Yep.
Which is very similar to Red Bull. Really popular, like Malta and Spain. I think in Italy, it's another energy drink. Take it almost similar to Red Bull.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Real nice beer is that Efes, that Turkish beer. You ever had it?
I can't say I have. I may have.
Mythos is nice as well.
Yeah, I've had that. That's a nice beer. Hello, Thomas. Thomas is in the chat. Sard, how are you, Sard? Yeah, it's a Pilsner. Yeah, FS. Lux report. Hey, Lux. Y2K.
Sorry, but I was just
That's all right. I'll tell you a funny story. The other night, I was on the dungeon.
Oh, go on.
And I was just posting some jokes. And then there was some, I can't remember his name. He started posting the jokes that I'd posted 2 nights earlier. And I said, I typed in a message. I said, "Stop copying my jokes." And I didn't get a reply. And then he posted another joke that I'd posted. And I said to him, "You're pulling a Tim on me." And he disappeared out of the chat.
I wonder who it was.
It was just tongue in cheek, you know. I was pretending to be upset he was copying me. I didn't care. But it was funny how he disappeared after I typed in, "Hey, you're pulling a Tim on me," and he disappeared. I thought it was funny.
He probably thought you were serious.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Look at that. And he never replied to me. He could have just chatted. I mean, I'll tell you some jokes, Alex.
Go on.
I went to buy some camo pants the other day and I couldn't find any.
Oh, my word. Go on.
Let me think. Alex, you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
My wife found out I replaced the bed with the trampoline. She hit the ceiling. That's it, Thomas. That's a good one. It actually goes. My wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. I had to put my foot down. Hey, did I tell you about the competition they had in the Greek village, Alex?
No, go on.
Yeah, there was a Greek village and it had a competition. Who could make the donkey laugh? You know, everyone. You know, it wasn't expensive to get in, but it was running for years because no one can make the donkey laugh. So if you wanted to participate, they ran it once a year, you know, during the festival. And you put a donation of $1 into the kitty, and whoever made the donkey laugh took all the money. A tourist came past, and they said, "Hey, join the festivities, join the fun, you know, see if you can make the donkey laugh." And sure enough, he goes into the barn, comes out a couple of minutes later, and the donkey's pissing itself laughing. He won all the money. They were all happy. They couldn't believe that someone could do it. Off he went. 5 years, the tourists came back out of curiosity to see what was happening. And this time the competition was who can make the donkey cry. And the tourist, when he got there, they go, "Hey, we remember you. You made the donkey laugh. Hey, join the fun and see if you can make the donkey cry." Are you there, Alex?
I'm listening.
Anyway, the guy goes into the barn. A couple of minutes later, comes out. The donkey. They goes, "Yeah, the donkey's crying." They go in. They see the donkey's bawling its eyes out. They said, "Hey, this is not fair. You know, you got to tell us what you did. How did you make the donkey cry, laugh in the first place? And now you made it cry. What's going on?" He goes, "Listen, it's quite simple. The first time I spoke to the donkey, I told it that my dick's bigger than his, and he pissed himself laughing." He goes, "This time I showed him."
Started crying. Oh.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think there's one. Okay. Interesting question. Alex,
Yeah.
you'd know this better than me. What timepiece brand would you say is a quintessential British timepiece?
Yeah, George Daniels or Roger Smith, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's the only one. There's no others.
Yeah, unless you go before the Swiss industry. You know, if you go back into the when England had a big, but they were importing Swiss movements back. Oh, were they making their own movements? They were. They were initially making their own movements.
It's all changed now, hasn't it?
Yeah. Unless you go back then and pick one of those early brands. And it's too expensive. It's to start up your own manufacturing of the movement. They could probably do everything else, couldn't they?
They could do everything else, but I mean, they can do the movements, but we're talking big money.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Rolex did start off as British, but they were importing movements and casing them in England, which avoided a lot of tax at the time. They did that in Australia. There was a lot of jewelry shops that would brand their own watches here in Australia but they would have Swiss movements in them. They would buy huge amounts of Swiss movements would be shipped into the country, and then they would case them up and badge them here in Australia. And it avoided a lot of tax.
Did you say avoid a lot of tax?
Yeah.
Did you hear what Donald Trump did?
No.
He buried his ex-wife in his golf resort. Do you know why?
No.
Because it avoided certain taxes.
Death duties.
No, more than that. If you look into it, he avoided because now his golf resort is classed as a cemetery or something, so it's a load of taxes. He's basically not having to pay a load of taxes or something. I didn't believe it, but I looked into it and it's true.
Okay, so his golf resort is a cemetery now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine? He must have one cracking accountant. Hey, Donald, bury your wife there. You'll save money, Donald. Crazy, isn't it? Who would think that, Bill?
Yeah. Volkner's got a question, random question. ETA 2824 has sheared off its teeth at the ratchet wheel. Is that common?
Very common. Very common. Yeah, it's very, very common. Because it's like a little brass wheel, and the size of the barrel to the movement is vast, it's big. And because of that wheel is pretty small, the teeth are not that deep. They're quite thin teeth. So what happens is it starts to slip. And then as it slips, it puts more wear on the teeth, and before you know it, the teeth bend. And it just lets the power out. So yeah, it's very common.
Smith's is a great British mass-produced watch. Thomas Burnett.
Smiths used to do the big clocks as well.
What about Big Ben? What brand of clock is Big Ben?
I'm not sure. It's not Dent, is it? I'm not sure who that is.
And who was this Ben that they named the clock after?
I'm not sure about that. Hey, Bill.
Sure, Ben didn't have to buy a car to impress the women. Yeah, go on, Alex. Go on.
Do you know what I had yesterday that was really nice? Espresso martini.
Okay. Okay. Big Ben was made by Dent and Co. Do they still exist?
I did say Dent, didn't I? But I kind of thought, no, it can't be. But it is Dent. Because Dent actually make wristwatches as well. They went through a phase of making wristwatches, and they were really nice. But I don't know if they sold.
Do they still exist?
The watch company, Dent, I'm sure you can still buy them. I don't know who distributes them. It actually looks like a Big Ben on your wrist, which sounds a bit awful, but it's done really well.
And you saw that watch that lady designed. There's a new that looks like the television set.
Yes, I've seen it, yeah. Do you like it?
I like the idea. It's a woman's watch. It's not. It's a fashion thing. And it's a micro brand, but it's an interesting concept.
We've got a celebrity on, Bill.
I saw.
Alex is the celebrity.
No, I ain't no celebrity. Trust me.
How's everything going, Bill
Good.
and Alex?
Good luck.
Yeah, good. Thanks. How about you?
I'm okay, thank you. Sad times, sad times.
Yep.
How's the mood in Liverpool, Alex?
I think it's all right. I mean, I think her death was expected, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah. True. So what's the latest?
Well, we're gonna have King Charles, aren't we?
True.
What about you? What's going on with you?
Planning to come back to the UK soon, so hopefully I'll come and say hello.
What, to live?
No, just for a couple of months.
Would you ever come back to live?
No, not in the UK, no.
Why not, Lux?
The weather.
Yeah, maybe the weather. You need to be a multi-millionaire to have the lifestyle that you can get in other countries.
Yeah, especially when you get a taxi in London. All right, mate, you from here? No, I'm not. I'm going to take you the longest way possible now and charge you double. Okay.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Then I don't think they're that bad, are they? Are they that bad in London? I don't know. I don't think they're that bad. Where would you live if you could live anywhere in the world?
Me?
Anybody?
Where would I live? Oh.
Do you not have like a dream place that you can retire to or something like that? Or are you happy with England?
No. No. I know exactly where I want to go.
Greece.
Oh, listen, some of the Greek islands are just, they're amazing. Some have been unspoiled as well. I mean, Mykonos is beautiful, but it's just very touristy and very expensive.
Mm-hmm. Is it Mykonos or Mykonos?
Mykonos.
Mykonos. I've been there before. No, actually, I've been there. Zakynthos.
Zakynthos is nice. I don't think I've been to Zakynthos. No, but...
Yeah, I've been there.
Is
it Zakynthos? Sorry, is it Zakynthos that has the shipwreck?
I'm not sure. What do you think, Bill?
Because I went to the island with the big shipwreck. I think it was Zakynthos.
Possibly, I think so. I don't know, Lux.
Where are you, Bill? Are you in America or Canada? Where are you?
No, I'm in Australia.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. I don't know.
Look,
are you happy with Australia?
I don't think that it's easy to say, oh, I'd like this and I'd like that. The reality is, unless you actually travel the world to different places to actually decide which is an appropriate place to live in, I reckon you'd. I think, would you pick Greenland, for instance, to go and live there? And yet, some people do decide that's where they want to go because.
Yeah, I might live in Greenland. I've lived everywhere. I've lived in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Asia. I've been everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but you know what I mean.
Oh, you've seen more than most.
Yeah.
So where would you pick? I guess
depends on my bank balance. All depends on the bank balance.
Okay.
If I was poor, I would live in Thailand or Malaysia. If I had unlimited money, I might live in maybe Singapore or south of France, maybe.
And if you were in the middle somewhere?
Somewhere in Asia. For what I like, I think Asia is best for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because there's not many Asian girls in Greenland.
No, there isn't, but there's Greenland girls.
True, true. Could you ever like live alone in the forest, or camping in the forest, like a log cabin?
Well, like the Liver King.
Like who?
The Liver King.
Yeah.
Do you not know who he is?
No, who's that?
Google it and you'll see.
What is it? Liver King?
Liver King, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get some weird pictures.
No, it's all above board.
There's some YouTubers that build cabins in the forest and live there.
He looks like he's got a body like yours, Alex.
Listen, I do not have a body like that, all right?
You do.
No, I don't.
Would you want to have a body like that?
Look, to have a body like that, you'd have to take androgenics, and he says that he doesn't, but he does. There's no way that's natural.
And what does he do? Running around the forest, catching antelopes and eating them raw?
Yeah.
Apparently, he eats purely raw meat, or very slightly cooked meat, and he has a very outdoorsy kind of existence, but it's all just marketing. There's no way you get that body with not taking any sort of enhancements. It's not possible. He has the attributes of steroid use.
I reckon he lives in a plush mansion and then goes and films himself in the outdoors.
Exactly.
A bit like what was that Pommy guy that used to do the same thing? He did a program, and he used to he took celebrities out too. He used to,
Bear, isn't his name Bear?
Bear,
What's his name? Bear
yeah,
Grylls?
Bear Grylls. As soon as people discovered that, he'd go out and stay at really expensive hotels and then go out filming. Oh, look at me in the wilderness. I'm crawling through shit. And then once the filming was over, they'd go and stay in some motel, some hotel with silk sheets.
Yeah, it's hard to go running at 5 a.m. in the morning when you're in silk sheets.
Great sweater. Says Liver King is a bodybuilder and he eats raw liver.
That's right, yeah. But to get that physique, that's many years and a lot of courses.
Yeah, but how do you know he eats? He might eat raw liver on camera and then that's it, and spits it out when the camera's switched off.
There's only one thing that guy eats. You know what it is?
No idea.
Trenbolone sandwich.
But he's very wealthy, isn't he?
Yeah, apparently he's very wealthy. Yeah.
What are your guys' opinions on Andrew Tate? Sorry, I had to go there.
Yeah.
I had to go
We're
there.
going down the rabbit hole. Are you ready, Bill? Are you coming with me?
There's no
Are you
right
coming
or
with
wrong
me?
answer.
Are you coming with me, Bill? No comment.
I love him. I love him.
He's gone quiet, Bill.
No, I'm just looking him up. I have no idea who Andrew Tate is.
Oh, you don't?
No, there was one that says, "What happened to Andrew Tate?" He's been banned from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, citing
banned from everything.
violations. Yeah.
I haven't clicked on it yet, but I noticed there was a video with him and Alex Jones yesterday. So
On
and
violence.
I like Alex Jones.
Why is Andrew Tate famous? He was a American British internet personality, former professional kickboxer.
World champion, by the way.
But also, you can't believe everything that you read on the internet about him.
Well, they haven't. Well, have they? I haven't seen anything bad about him. It says he offered paid courses and membership through his website, and later rose to fame through a move to influencer marketing.
Okay.
None of that is untrue, is it?
No, that's correct. That's correct.
And it says, how tall is Andrew Tate? 1.9 meters. Who is the sister of Andrew Tate? Jenny Tate. Who are Andrew Tate's parents? Emery Tate.
Yeah, his father was a grandmaster chess player, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's why. Emery Andrew Tate Jr. was an American chess player. He was a black grandmaster called Tate, absolutely a trailblazer for Afro-American chess. Why did Tate move to Romania to become Dracula? So he moved to Romania. Is that untrue?
No, it's true.
It's true.
He moved with his brother, didn't he? Because of certain laws and
Black tax laws on sexual assault.
That's not exactly.
No, they say 40%. It's 40% of the reason why he moved.
40%.
So where they got that figure from?
They must have asked him, Bill.
They must have given him a list and said, "Can you rank them?" What did Andrew Tate say?
He said a lot of things.
He said a lot of interesting things that made people look in the mirror, personally.
Okay. He was on Big Brother in 2016.
Yeah. Alex, did you see him when he was a teenager on the travel documentary show thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I mean, the way he looks, I mean, he's very thin. He doesn't have very strong features, but people assume the way he looks, he looks like a nerd in a way, but he knows how to fight, and he's very good at business, and he just says it how it is. He's a world champion kickboxer. Yeah, truth hurts. When people say things that makes you look in the mirror, you've only got yourself to blame, you got to. He's not somebody that said all these things and not experienced them. He's literally experienced what he said. So,
Yeah, everything he says is from his own personal experiences.
yeah, so he's not. He's just talking from his own experience. You know, he came from a very poor background and made his way up.
Like especially his experience regarding flying around the world during COVID times. Did you hear about those experiences?
Well, he flew anyway, didn't he? He had his private
Yeah.
jet and did what he wanted to do. But it's and plus he had
like,
with cam girls, didn't he? He had a business with girls on camera and all that. And the thing is, right, is that not only to be successful, but for you to be a world champion kickboxer and come from nothing, and then your brother to follow suit with you, and for you to be as close to your brother and to get on with him and never fight, or if you fight, it's over nothing. And then for him to go into kickboxing as well and be successful, and to always kind of build and like help each other is very rare. It's very, very rare to have that connection and to be like that. You know, they don't let any woman separate them.
True.
I wouldn't want to fight him, that Lux. Tell you that.
I haven't actually watched his fighting days. I haven't looked at that part of him.
He's very quick.
So did he get out of fighting? Was there a reason for getting out of it, or?
Well, he knew that he wasn't going to pay him as much as he wanted to be paid, so I think he decided. That's when he decided to have his own business, didn't he? He started going into more of internet businesses, such as the cam girls and.
Jade Graceweather reckons that bodybuilder guy sleeps on planks.
Planks.
Well, they'll say anything, won't they?
But apparently he's making, what is it, $4 million, $5 million a month at the moment with his membership program.
Which one? Andrew Tate?
Yeah. He has a like a school, like a business school that can, teach you different aspects of business, and
Yes.
it's a membership program.
Give us your money and we'll tell you how to become rich.
Something like that.
As soon as you hear that, you know it's a scam.
Well, it's not really a scam. It's just classes. He's not saying I will make you rich. You have to make yourself rich. But giving you the guidance.
You're not going to make yourself rich by giving him your money.
Well, it depends on if it changes your mindset, right?
Sorry, what are we talking about?
His school program where you pay a membership fee and you can learn advice of business advice.
Oh, that side of the business for me is corrupt. I don't believe in any of that. I think that's vastly corrupt. No, I don't, because that's all on a numbers game. So if you can imagine hundreds of thousands of people paying $50 or $100 for the year.
Apparently, it's not even him. It's he pays people to give the advice as well.
Yeah. Well, he's slowly taking small amounts of money off number. It's a you know, that's a that's a big business, huge business by doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. And the only one becoming rich is him. Everyone else is staying poor.
Well, I mean, losing $50 is not going to make you poor, but I just see that as, you know, you pay $50 and you get some advice. I wouldn't say it's you pay $50 and you become a millionaire.
Yeah, but the advice he's going to give you is not worth $50.
The only advice that you can give to yourself is just take action and do it. If you need somebody else like him to tell you, then you're not going to do it. Do you know what I mean?
But obviously, he's preying on those, you know, the people that think they can just get rich overnight, right?
That's
they see
right.
that lifestyle and they think, well, I want that lifestyle. If he can do it, then let me try and do it.
Yeah, and he's going to tell me for $50. He's going to tell me.
But obviously, the world doesn't really work as easy as that.
No.
And you know, like drop shipping and all that kind of stuff. You know, that's a very hard game.
There's no easy way of business. It's just hard, whichever way you look at it.
But it depends on what kind of business. If you're in a business with a lot of competition, yeah, that's hard.
Oh, Liver King's wife sleeps on planks too.
Jesus.
You never sleep on a concrete floor?
Have I?
Yeah, have you ever slept on a concrete floor?
No, I haven't.
It's not really been something that it's not really been on my top of the list, Lux, but you know.
Well, I've been camping in a sleeping bag. Lux, I think that's as close to this concrete floor as I got.
Bill
I've
sleeps
done
in
that
trees.
before.
What's that?
Bill sleeps in trees.
That's right. To get away from the wild animals.
Yeah.
You never been kicked out of bed and you had to sleep on the floor, Alex?
Have I ever been kicked out of bed and sleep? What? You think a
To sleep
woman's
on the
going to kick
floor?
me out of the bed and I sleep on the floor?
Yeah.
Are you serious? No. That's not going to happen, all right?
Is it the other way around? Do you kick her out of the bed and she sleeps
I'm
on the
right.
floor?
100%. No woman kicks me out of bed, right?
I slept on a concrete floor when I was in the army.
Oh, you've been to the army?
Wow, cadets. If you want to be technical, army cadets.
Okay. And why did you do that?
Why did they do what? Be in the army cadets or?
No, why
sleep
did
on the
you
concrete?
sleep on the concrete floor?
Because that's where we had to sleep.
Oh, okay. So you had to sleep on a concrete floor.
Well, yeah, we were told to sleep in the barn, so that's where you sleep.
And why would they do that to you?
Well, because there's nowhere else to sleep when you're in the middle of the forest.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, it's like going camping.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, that's what they should do in the UK. All children of a certain age have to do military service for so many, for 2 or 3 years.
I think it was really good, to be honest. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Taught me a lot of things.
You wouldn't do that as an adult now, would you?
Oh, I would. I'd enjoy it as well as an adult.
You would enjoy sleeping on
Yeah, it's an experience, right? I'm not saying I'd want to do it every single day for the rest of my life, but a couple of days roughing it in the forest or something.
Oh, you wouldn't take up planking, sleeping on planks for the rest of your life now, like this Liver King.
I don't know. It depends. Depends on the situation. If you
My
have a choice.
question is, my question is, right? Are we becoming more deluded and gullible as the years go by? Because if Liver King was around 10, 15 years ago, do you honestly think people will believe what he's saying? But because there's so much social media around and quick fix and easy tasks and you buy this and you get this, I just think people are just wanting to, this kind of take this pill and you end up like this. You know what I mean? I think that's the society now.
I can't say too much about Liver King because I haven't looked. I've only looked at his picture, so
You don't need to see
I
any.
get exactly what you're saying.
You don't need to see any more. You've seen it. That's it, Liver King. A steroid muscle man that pretends he sleeps on planks.
Okay,
Even Joe Rogan.
I'm looking at his Instagram page, and I can tell it's probably bullshit. Like you say, it's for Instagram and social media because I see pictures of him and videos of him in private jets. He's not just living in the countryside 24 hours a day.
You just have to see pictures of farmers, peasant farmers that live a rural life to see what a.
He's not living a rural life. I can tell you that now from his Instagram page.
Well, that's what I'm saying to you. Lux, you didn't have to see many photos of him to know that you see a farmer that lives a hard rural life, you would know what he should what he should look like.
Mm-hmm. True.
Raw food, eh? Eats the raw food. My son loves sushi.
Do you know Simeon Panda?
No.
Amatera Stereo has mentioned Simeon Panda. Let's have a look and see what. Oh yeah, here's another plank. You sleep on a plank, you look like him. You seen his photo?
Yeah, I'm looking now.
He does videos. Build a big back.
Build a big bang.
Train like a superhero. Get big shoulders and quads.
I don't know if I'd want to look like that, to be honest.
Problem is, if you look like that, you have to maintain it, Lux. So you're walking around with all that mass. You have to maintain it. You have to eat constantly, and you then probably become a bit body dysmorphic.
What about the mood swings? Do you think you'd have big mood swings, highs and lows?
Depends if he's natural and his carbohydrate intake, but if he's taking any PEDs, then yeah, definitely. If he's taking like Trenbolone, then yeah, he'll be all over the place.
Six-pack abs for beginners.
Oh wow! Send it to me, Bill. Send it to me.
Get shredded while sleeping.
Oh my god! Perfect.
I need that one. Can you find the one that says "Get shredded while eating chocolate"? I want to know that one.
The ice cream diet. One of my friends went on the ice cream diet. I thought, oh my god, this is a joke.
Alex, do you know the fastest way to build bigger arms?
Tell me. I need to know.
You got to
You
watch
have to
his.
pay $50 first.
Well, what about the hardest shoulder routine ever?
Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate.
What I eat to stay shredded all year round. I thought he was shredded by sleeping. What about the 8-minute six-pack abs? Oh, he even tells you how to fade your own hair.
Do you remember Mr. Motivator, Alex?
Yeah, with his pouch at the front so you can see his cock.
Yeah. Wait, what? To hide his what?
Hide his cock, wasn't it?
When he was thrusting forward and back.
Yep. Mr. Motivator. With all those fat women in the swimming pool.
I
It's
guess
really
Bill doesn't
simple.
know what we're talking about.
Just don't eat as much. And that's really all it is.
Intake and extake.
Yeah. Calories in, calories out.
Oh, what about the? They've got a video. Simeon and Chanel, that's his wife or his missus, ask each other 30 questions.
His wife's called Chanel, Bill.
Yes, his wife.
Yeah, well, as soon as you said his wife was Chanel, I'm like, yeah.
You don't even need to look at her. You know she's going to be good
Gold
looking.
digger.
You know she's going to, look a certain way. Anyone called Chanel.
Or Portia.
Porsche.
My wife's called Portia.
Mystique.
Oh, what about this one? Why I don't wear gloves to train?
Oh, why is that?
I don't know. You've got to see the video. And then he's gone into philosophy, like a lot of them do. Does polygamy work?
What? How we gone from bodybuilding to sleeping with a load of women?
After he's asked his wife 30 questions.
Oh, he's jealous.
And there's pictures of him doing exercises by a pool.
I'm thinking about going on a herring fest.
The world's best lasagna. He's an African American. He's not even Italian. He knows about the world's best lasagna. Oh, he's even given advice on the perfect proposal.
Nice.
Perfect. And what he's done is he's built a love heart on the beach with roses. And then he stood in the middle of this love heart with roses and gets on one knee and proposes to her with the camera crew. With the camera crew.
Hey guys, Wayne's in the chat.
With the camera crew.
Wayne's in the chat.
And then you do 10 takes of it to get the perfect proposal.
Sign me up, Bill.
$50 a month.
I know he's gone to Jamaica to pump iron. Pumping iron in Jamaica. Anyone that wants to to look like him, they'd have to basically stop working and just live in a gym.
Well, that famous bodybuilder Mike Mentzer said he only trained, was it like 4 times a week, and like spent less than an hour in the gym.
What did he do for the rest of the time? He must have slept. He kept sleeping in order to, and he must have used that sleep to get shredded routine.
He must have.
But he's been out at this YouTube thing for the last 10 years, 11. He's been posting for 11 years. And he was big when he started doing it.
He's like the Archie of exercise.
Yeah.
How much do you think we need to send to Archie for him to get slim? If we send him $10,000, do you think he can do it?
No.
No. In order for him to lose weight, all the super chats need to stop. He needs
That
to
will
have,
put on the weight. That will make him put on even more weight. The depression.
you don't think so? The fact that he's not earning any money, so therefore he has no food to eat.
Well, you get benefits in Australia, so you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Have you not seen the council estates in England, where you get the people on benefits and they're very big. It doesn't always mean.
We've had a few join us, Alex. Wayne Bennett is here.
Hi, Wayne.
And KB Lake.
KB Lake. Is that a new person, KB Lake? Oh, yeah. Hello, KB. KB, is that a male or a female name?
I don't know. If they type in the chat, they'll tell us.
Andrew Tate's going to come on now.
You think his ears are burning?
Yeah.
What would you say to him?
And what about Simeon? I reckon he'd be on here too.
What with Chanel?
With Chanel, yeah. How much does Simeon Panda bench?
How much does he say? Or
Well, he reckons he benched 435 pounds.
what's that in kilos?
Don't know.
435 pounds. Let me figure that out now.
It's about half.
He bench presses that. Did you say 435 pounds?
Yep.
197. No, I don't know about that. How many does he do? That's a lot.
I don't know.
Hey, Lux, how much you bench press?
That would be telling.
How much do you weigh now, Lux?
That would be telling.
You gonna tell us anything?
I wouldn't even know. I don't even put my fat ass on the scale, so I wouldn't even know.
Do you check your blood pressure or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
From the sound of my voice, how many kilos do you reckon? Or stone, or whatever.
17.
Huh?
Does fat go to your vocal cords? I don't think so.
No, but normally, don't larger people sound more like deep?
Well, like a cholesterol voice. They have like a cholesterol kickback on them, put on their
No, you get like a smoker's cough. Can't you have the fat?
Oh, yeah, nice.
All right, mate.
Well, mate, where do you want to go? We'll put the meter on now. Yeah, you ready?
So how many stone or kilos, whatever?
16, 17.
17 stone. Let me check. What is that in kilos? 17 stone into kilograms.
Okay, KB Lake, he's an Intel architect, or she. Ontario, Canada.
How many stone are you, Alex?
Say that again, sorry.
How many stones are you, Alex?
Me, I'm about, at this moment, I think I'm hitting about 14. I'm just under 15.
Okay, well,
So I'm not huge. I'm not like heavy.
Oh, I thought you'd be more about 12 or 13.
No. I was 11, 12 stone when I was about 16.
Okay. I suppose it's the muscle mass, that extra weight, right?
Wait.
It's well, I don't know. My body, my fat percentage, I would definitely say is in early 20s, definitely. So
Okay.
I'm not super lean, that's for sure. I'm not like Coco.
Coco? Who's Coco?
It's that guy's wife.
Chanel?
Chanel.
Coco Chanel?
Sorry, Coco Chanel. Sorry, Chanel. Sorry.
What about you, Bill?
I'm just doing the conversion.
In Australia, is it kilos, pounds, or stones?
Well, we were imperial. We're metric now. I'm a bit heavier than Alex. I'm just doing the conversion. 14 stone is 88 kilos. I'm about 92. So
Do you know what? I need to weigh myself again because I think I'm more close to 95, 96.
okay. Well, stone is such a heavy weight. You can, there's so much variation between it. Jumping from 14 to 15 jumps quite a bit in terms of kilos.
Yeah, I mean I fluctuate because I've still not had my lunch because for breakfast I had 6 scrambled eggs and 6 rashers of bacon and a fillet of steak. a small fillet.
A fillet of steak for breakfast?
Yeah, yeah. I've got some here now to have for lunch.
Wow.
So,
Was that raw steak?
Or like Liver King?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I like beef carpaccio, which is basically raw. I can have that with what do they call it? With what's the one with the raw egg as well? What's the name for it? Steak tartare. Steak tartare.
Steak tartare.
Yeah, I can have that. That's nice. But for some weird reason, I don't enjoy it as much as I used to because I tend to be less. I'm more wanting stuff cooked. But before I could literally have raw beef, it wouldn't. If it's fresh, you can literally just have it almost raw.
Do you not remember the episode where Archie had a steak tartare and he compared it to cat food?
Really?
A loyal fan took him to a French restaurant and gave him steak tartare. He was thinking he was going to get a beef burger, but he got steak tartare and wouldn't eat it.
What is steak tartare?
Steak tartare is raw meat, raw beef that's like minced with raw egg.
Okay, who serves that?
Well, it used to be big in I think the 80s. They still serve in restaurants now. But the first time.
Here it says steak tartare is raw ground beef or horse meat.
I did not know horse meat. I didn't know it was a bit of the old horse meat. No, that's.
It is usually served with onions, capers, mushrooms, pepper, and Worcestershire sauce.
Wow.
It is often served with a raw egg on top.
Raw egg, yeah.
Can you not get food poisoning from that?
You can get salmon from the egg.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it went out of fashion because there was a big outbreak or something.
Well, the name tartar comes from the Mongol warriors who used to tenderize their meat under the saddles. Then they ate it raw.
Wow.
Y2K is correct. The one Mr. Bean ate on his birthday.
Okay. And the reason that the Mongols used to put meat to protect saddle sores from further rubbing. This has also been considered the origin of pastrami. Go figure. Oh, I'd like a bit of that. You've been rubbing that meat on your ass. Let's have some of that. Jesus. In Wisconsin, a variation of steak tartare sandwich is called a cannibal sandwich. Popular among German immigrants. They use sirloin, rye bread, salt, pepper, and chopped onions.
Got a picture of my son. He's just started his second day of school. So cute.
Was that the first day of school, or what was that?
It's his second day of school at a new school where he's going to.
Oh.
He's in the big school.
So is he shy? Is he nervous or excited?
No, he's all right. I've got a picture of him here. Look.
Yeah,
Nice.
everything's new and exciting when you're a kid, Alex.
Oh yeah, it's about keeping it like that so they don't grow with any sort of anxieties or insecurities. You know? I hated school.
I wish I had a father like you, Alex.
Oh really? Why is that? What?
No, seriously, my dad left me when I was about 2 years old, so
Oh, right. Sorry to hear that.
that's okay.
Well, I think if a child can have a father figure, I think it's brilliant, you know. But you know, you can always. But the thing is, you can always be there for your son, but it doesn't mean you're emotionally there. It's about being emotionally there. I think that's important.
I had a father figure, but yeah, stepdad. So have you seen the cost of flights recently? I'm looking at flights, and they cost a fortune right now.
No, what sort of money are we talking?
I'll tell you when I come back. I got a phone call. Sorry.
Y2K. Did Photi Jr. say Rolex in class? It's hard to tell now. You won't know. Do you think he'd follow in your footsteps and be a watchmaker, Alex?
That's a good question. Well,
Oh, it'd be totally up to him. I mean, you couldn't push him either way. But
I don't know if it's a good business to be in because of the restrictions are getting harder and harder. So, if he wanted to go into watchmaking, you know, I would support him, but I don't even want him to go to university because I think that's a waste of money.
well, it depends what he becomes.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to university and just get, you know, meaningless degrees. You know, they go and do.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I forgot what they're called now. Arts. They get an arts degree.
Mm.
You know, and that you know, the prospects of getting jobs with an arts degree is fuck all.
Very small, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But if he goes in and becomes an engineer of some sort, opportunities would be far greater to get, depending on the engineer. You know, some of them are heavily sought after. So you don't know.
No, I don't know.
Like here in Melbourne, it's harder to get in to become a veterinarian than it is to get into medicine.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Don't you think?
You know, and try taking your little pussycat or your dog to the vet and see how much they charge.
course he can.
If you thought human healthcare was expensive, go animal healthcare.
Oh, it's nuts, isn't it? What they charge. Crazy.
You know, or you become a vet for the equine industry. You make
Well,
a fortune in the racing industry, the vets. Looking after $1 million horses, you know. So, you know, I mean, if he says, I want to become a veterinarian, you'd support him whole hog. Go to uni.
he definitely gets his mother's brains, that's for sure.
I think the best time to fly was just after COVID. The lockdown sort of ended and the aeroplanes were empty. That was the cheapest because they were still running at a loss and they wanted bums on seats, so they would virtually give away the tickets on airplanes. But now that everything's opened up and everything's booked out, they're going to milk it for all the money they lost over the last 2 years. Dodgers disappeared.
Everyone's disappeared. Lux has gone as well. Dog is in the dungeon. I think the dungeon is on.
Is it on? I don't think so. Oh, it is on. The dungeon is on, that's why.
Everyone's gone now.
They're all on the dungeon. They're rebel streaming you, Alex.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right, the Dodgers there. Air King Ben shot. Archie's there, and the original OC is on the screen. Okay, so they're in damage control, is he?
We'll see.
OC, the original OC is on the stream. He's in the dungeon. Okay. Damage control.
Right, there you are. So,
3 hours.
Right. Shall we switch it off, Bill?
All right.
See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right. Take care, everyone.